understand it. It's like Reb said about the little lady that called her just a few days ago. She thought her son was just lazy. My brother was smoking cigarettes at a house in Phoenix, Arizona with an uncle of mine, and did nothing. We are a farm family, or at least the roots of our family are farm families. So it's always work, 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 work. And they couldn't understand why he sat around and did absolutely nothing. This was not who we are. And ultimately they took all of his few belongings that he had and put it on the front yard and told him, scat. He then ended up walking down the highway. He ended up on 101 in California, and ultimately in the 80s, I got a telephone call from my mother, and we learned that my brother was diagnosed with a mental illness. I couldn't believe it. We flew out. I went and looked through a little tiny window into a room full of people just milling around like you would expect to see in a movie. And I saw my brother, and I said, my God, that's my brother. And I had no idea that he could possibly have this kind of a situation. And then what happens to you very quickly is you become very, very nervous, and you want to be confidential. You don't want to tell your neighbor, your friend, somebody else down the street, certainly not your employer, certainly not a lot of the people you deal with, that you've got mental illness in your family. And the other thing you start running into is you start looking at statistics and you say, 1 in 10 people, 1 in 100 people have schizophrenia. But if you happen to be the brother of someone with schizophrenia, you got 1 chance in 10. I was still kind of a young guy, 30-ish or so. but reality is, it hits at all times of your life. And I remember trying to figure out how to fix it for my brother because we brought him home. I went to a clinic. The lady that was a psychiatrist, put him on medications. She put him on Prolixin without Cogentin. My brother wanted me to kill him. He literally asked me, Eric, put me out of my misery. I had no idea that because of the Prolixin, his skin, that was the cause for his skin to be feeling like it was moving over his body. I had to massage him. He walked a run into our carpet because he could not stop. She gave him a lousy sleeping pill and said, give him sleeping pills so he'll sleep at night. And I'm like, you wake us up at 2 a.m. in the morning, I need another pill. Harris, I can't give you another pill. They're addictive. This isn't good. But Eric, and it kept on going. Ultimately, we had a little lady who's this I don't know, the standard thing you run into. Her son, wonderful kid, top of the class, goes from Santa Fe High School over to UNM in Albuquerque and crashes. He developed schizophrenia when the stress hit him and the genetics were right and everything came together. And fortunately, she found a psychiatrist in Albuquerque, and I was able to transfer Harris over, and I began to learn. And that's the thing that you have to do with mental illness, it seems. You have to start learning. You can't just sit back and expect somebody to tell you. And when you read the books, you know, the book I remember reading, I can't tell you which one it was, it told me there is no hope, there is no reason for you to do anything except to maintain their illness and hope they don't keep crashing. And they completely disregarded the concept of having any kind of counseling, any kind of talking about it, any peer-to-peer counseling that we do today that UBH is helping them, NAMI with, that NAMI Texas has helped as well with El Paso as well as across the state of Texas. You get bad information and you're out there, you're trying to discover what can you do, how can you fix this problem, and the one thing that you can learn after a while is that you're not alone. And when you think about the statistic that 1 in 4 American adults are diagnosed with a severe mental illness in any given year, you have to sit back and think. In this room right now, we've got, let's say, 50 people. That means about 12 of us could be diagnosed in any given year with a severe mental illness. It's prevalent, it's common, it's everywhere, and yet the stigma keeps us from fixing it. One of the things that NAMI Texas is trying to do is eliminate the criminalization of mental illness. And the one thing that you will find is that wherever there's mental illness, you're also going to have the next step over. Somehow, the individual got into harm's way with the criminal justice system, and they're not understanding what's going on. Many don't. Fortunately, we have a few that do here. And the next thing you know, they're in jail. And then they go to the penitentiary. And then they go to the penitentiary again and again and again. And the reality of it is, their life has
helping contribute to that. I did after a lot of coercion and bad name calling, and Eric finally convinced me that I ought to be on the board of directors, and I'm still don't know why, but I joined the board of directors, so I occupy a chair in that place now, along with Christy and Rev and Frank and some of the other folks in the room. And I think we're heading in the right direction. This walk is going to give us some opportunities that we haven't had before, simply because we don't have the funds to do it. And then as part of the walk, Rep said, you know, Rick, you really ought to be a leader and put a team together. And I said, well, I guess I can do that. I know a couple people. So I've got a team. You can visit it on the web. It's called Tamara's Trompers. And our goal is to raise, my goal for my team is to raise $3,000. And I think that everybody in this room could do the same thing. I mean, you know, it's easy to go out and talk to one or two folks that, you know, are the owners of the Bank of the West and get a couple of $100s for your team. But if each one of you would go to your neighbor and the guy you sit next to in church and the school teacher and, you know, the kids the kids' parents in the Boy Scout troop with you, you know, and talk to the people that you know and say, you know, I'm doing this, and would you mind giving me 25, 50 bucks? I think you could raise $3,000 pretty quick, and it wouldn't be a difficult thing to do. And it's not like I'm taking it out of my pocket and putting it into this organization. You know, I believe that you know, we can all do a little bit, and if all of us do a little bit, then we got a lot. And I think that's important. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to talk to the teachers and to the neighbors and to the acquaintances I have and the business contacts, and say, you know, this is a good cause, and would you mind supporting me in my walk? And again, I encourage each one of you to do the same thing. We all know 10 people. We all know 20 people. We all know 100 people here in town. And we may not have to go out to dinner with them every night, but we can sure call them on the phone and say, hey. And so please do that.
We'd love to run. Get a t-shirt. So online is where it happens. It's the easiest way to really, truly make a difference. And so, have any of you walked in a NAMI walk before? But you've probably walked in other walks, right? Yeah. Well, the momentum begins today, and I'm so excited that all of you are here, because the information that's in these packets, and let's take it out for just 1 second. The actual folder with the 2 walkers on the front, isn't that fun walking together? And you'll see these are your tools and your resources. This is what's going to help you be successful as a team captain. That yellow sheet on the right is really just an information sheet on the walk, but there's walk brochures in the bigger envelope. We've got team building instructions. Guess what? We're going to give you strategies to help make you successful. So that's the purple sheet. If you're a family team or a corporate team, those are the purple and the blue sheets. And we're not going to make you read them right now today, but please take them home if you're going to be a family team or a corporate team. We talked a little bit about sponsorship. If there's someone in this room that's representing a company, or you know someone that might be interested in being a supporter like some of the great sponsors here, there's a sponsorship packet in here too. Best thing to do would be to connect with Reb after the meeting today, or by email or phone call tomorrow, because we'd sure like to get them on board as well. And then there's also information about how do you write that effective, meaningful fundraising letter. And we provide examples, but the bottom line is it's you sharing from your heart, right? It's you sharing from your heart. So we even have tips on how to raise so much money in so many days in here. So there's also information about NAMI El Paso, mental illness, who NAMI is and what we do. So this is for you to take home and use. And this other packet here is really The walk brochures, which really promotes your walk in the strongest way. It's this document right here, and it shows sponsors on the back. And this is, if you run into someone that says, I don't do online, I never do online, that's okay, they can register by paper copy. So the quantity that you have in this large envelope, can anybody guess what the quantity of these are in your big envelope?
That'd be 10.
10? Okay, 10, yeah. Because we want to provide you with what you're going to need when you go and recruit your 10. So the big team captain envelope is for you as a team captain. When you come walk day, all of your team members will have individual envelopes. Are they in here too?
Yes.
Yeah. So any questions about anything as you move forward, Reb's the one to talk to. She'll help you. We've got posters. Yeah, her contact information. Yeah, right on the inside of the folder. And the website address is on the brochure piece too. You just go to www.nami.org, look for NAMI Walks, and then you can find the state and it'll get to El Paso. One last thing, I just wanted to share one of my favorite quotes, and that's by, it's by Helen Keller. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. So all that you can do is so greatly appreciated, and I'm so thrilled to be here and be part of the history here. And I thank Reb for all the great work she's doing, and on behalf of the board of directors here, we thank all of you. So go out, begin the process, let us know if you have questions. She's going to be communicating with all of you, so thank you so much. Really appreciate it.